Hey Deb, what are you doing today?
Well, Guard, you told me that some of our viewers expressed an interest in learning more about how I made the slip covers for the cushions in our van.
Now these will work for any cushion, right? Like Pleasure Way or whatever. Okay.
Yeah, anything that's a loose cushion.
Just a loose cushion.
Yeah. What you have to do is measure your cushion. So for the demo, I use one of the seat cushions. Notice it has a little cutout here for the lagoon table. And this cushion, I measured this way, and I added 1.5 inches. And I measured this way and added 1.5 inches to the measurement. And that was 21 1/4 by 25 1/4 inches. I made a pattern. Didn't have anything but Christmas wrap that would work. And one thing I use when I'm making a pattern to make sure my edges and corners are true corners, 90-degree angles, I use this old
framing square.
Yeah, that's what it is, a framing square. So I used this and I made a pattern to match up with the measurements here. And I also measured the corner where the lagoon table is and cut that little edge off. So I marked, using the pattern, I marked it on this towel. And you're thinking, she's using a towel. Well, when I was planning on making this video, I thought, well, what am I going to use for fabric? And then I remembered we had some microfiber towels that we had purchased from Amazon for use in the RV. And we chose microfiber for that because they're soft. I like them, and they're pretty. They dry quickly, and I thought they would make a good slip cover for the cushions. So I took one towel, this is actually one towel and a little extra from another towel. And let me show you what the towels look like before they're cut up. The set we purchased had blue, pink, and gray in it. And here's one of the blue ones that was in our set. And it's about approximately 30 inches by about 75 inches. And this one towel was enough for me to cut the top piece, the bottom of the cushion, and half of the side. The side is 5 1/4 inches by the entire length of the towel. And these are, like I said, 21 1/4 by 25 1/4, with a notch cut off for the lagoon table. So I needed just a little bit more though, because this piece here is not long enough to go around the whole circumference of the cushion. So from a second towel, I cut 2 strips, the length of the towel. This for installing the zipper. And how I'm going to do that is like this. I'm going to put this on top of the zipper, and I'm going to bring it just to the middle of the zipper coil. And then using a zipper foot, so I can sew really close to this edge, I'm going to sew down along the edge of this finished edge here on the inside. And then I'll do it with the other side as well. And that'll be where my zipper is. So I'll have this piece, something like this, with the zipper sewn into it. And then up here, it'll be sewn to right about here, actually right to just beyond the zipper. So I've got these 2 loose pieces. I'm just going to lay them right up side by side and zigzag this together all the way down, because I'm going to need to use a lot of this along with this piece to go around this cushion. It'll be the side piece. So right now I'm going to go upstairs and install the zipper. Then I'll bring it back down and show you how it looks. The zipper is installed and it works well. I also went ahead and zigzagged these two strips together all the way down and on the other end. So now I need to make sure that this is the same width as this. And I believe this is a little wider, but it'll be easy enough to trim it down to 5 1/4 inches in width. So let's see how it is. Oh yeah. So what I need to do now is take a minute and trim some off each side of the piece that has the zipper so that it will be the same width as this one, and then I will sew them together. I'll sew them together right here. I'll put right sides together and make a seam here. And it'll look something like this. It'll be one real long piece, but I've got to trim this off. It's really way too wide. Better it be too wide than too small though, or too narrow. Easier to trim, impossible to add. So now I'm going to trim it and I'll show you how it looks after I've trimmed it and I've made this seam.
Well, we just enjoyed our lunch and it's time to get back to the sewing table. So what are your plans here?
I just want to show you, first of all, here is the piece with the zipper in it, and I trimmed the sides so that it matches up, pretty much matches the width of the other piece. I sewed it together. I did use my serger on it so that the seam is finished and maybe it won't unravel so much when I wash it, and it's less bulky. So now I'm going to take this and sew it to the perimeter of the, or the circumference of the top piece.
So you need to probably put the top on top of the cushion, right? So we can see how it looks.
Yeah, and one other thing I want to mention too is you'll see how these pieces are the mirror image of each other. That's because this is the top and this is the bottom, and they both have to have the notch on the right part of it. So just make sure that you cut them as a mirror image, especially if you have fabric that has a distinct right and wrong side. These pretty much look the same on both sides, so you could get away with not making it the mirror image. But anyway, mirror image. So now we're going to take this cushion here and I'll show you what we're going to do. Slide that over there. Thank you, guard. So this is the cushion that's going to be on the passenger side. Kitchen cabinet's here. Side of the van is here. Lagoon table's right there. One thing I want to mention that I did to these top and bottom pieces is I found the very center of each side by folding it in half, and I made a little notch there.
Just a little cut.
Just a little notch here in the center, a little notch over here and over there. And I did the same thing here on this one. They're all been notched. And that's how you keep it all lined up straight. Because when you sew it together, you don't want it the top like this and the bottom kind of like this. You want it to be lined up, the notches lined up. And then I'm going to put this around the perimeter. So let me just kind of get it lined up and figure out which way I'm going to go with it. Okay, it's going to go like this. Here's this. No, it's not going to go like that. Right here we have the zipper from here to here. So it's going to go centered just by visually centering it. And it's going to go around like that. So what I'll do is I'm just going to go ahead and put right sides together. And just, so that looks pretty much centered. I'll just put a pin in it to hold it there. just a couple pins because I want to show you something, another way that the notches on the sides come into play. So here's my notch, and I like where the zipper is sitting, so that's good. I'm going to go ahead and notch the band that goes around right here. So these notches line up now, and I'm going to fold this back. Right at the notch. I'm going to fold it on the notch. Yep, it's folded on the notch, and then I'm going to notch the opposite side. That looks about right.
And that way you can line them up, right? Put the other side on it.
Yeah, it's hard to notch when you're just using the tips. It's hard to cut, I mean. There we go, got it. Okay, so this notch on this side lines up with the notch on the top. This notch here will line up on the notch on the bottom down there when I put it on. So everything is all lined up. Everything is sitting square on top of each other. And as I sew around and I get close to the notches, I will stop and notch this piece on both sides so that I can match it up. It makes the whole process a lot easier. And one other thing, when I get to the corners, I'm sewing this, since I'm doing a 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, I will stop when I'm 5/8 of an inch from the edge. I'll notch this fabric when I get to it, like right at the corner, notch it a little bit, and then I will pivot the fabric so that I can go down the next side. I'll make a 90-degree pivot, and that's how I do it. So let me go upstairs and sew this on, and then I'll come back and show it to you all.
All right, I'll be waiting.
Okay, I know you will. I just finished stitching one side of the band to the top piece of the slipcover. I'll show you how it looks. I started right about here stitching because I wanted to make sure that this zipper was centered on this side. And this zipper, by the way, I just want to mention, is a 24-inch zipper. Make sure you get a zipper that is big enough to open up and get the cushion inside. This barely is big enough, but it's hard to find a zipper that's longer than 24 inches. So I stitched it all the way around until I got right about here, and I had a long piece hanging down. Remember that this wasn't sewn together on both ends. I had a long piece hanging down. So I went back, I stopped right about here. You'll see a new seam here, but I stopped right here, went back and started sewing in this direction until I got right about here, and I had these two long pieces loose, two ends. What I did was I judged to see how much I would need to finish the whole perimeter, and I made a seam. Sewed these two together right here, made a seam. I used the serger again on it, and then I laid it down, and I finished stitching from about here to about where I'd left off before, right about here. So anyway, now it's all been stitched around the perimeter. Let's see how it fits. And I think
turn it.
No, this is right.
That's wrong.
That's right.
Rotate it. Rotate it. You're out.
Oh, you wait. Where is my funny corner? You're right. You can't sneak anything past guard.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the funny corner, the lagoon corner. Okay, well it fits even better now that I put it on correctly. So this is what it's looking like. This is some really good stuff for making a slipcover out of. I like it. I like this. It's so soft. I think you would sleep well on this. Now we have to put this piece on the bottom. And I'm going to add a link for Amazon for these towels in case that you want to get them. If you think you'd like to make slip covers out of microfiber towels, I'm going to add a link for the towels. So I just wanted to mention that. Now I'm going to go upstairs and stitch this on, and let's see, I'll just show you how it's going to go. Like, here is the lagoon corner. So right sides together. Sometimes I even have to, let me put it back on so we can tell which are the short and which are the long sides. That might help. Okay. This is going to go on the bottom. Like this. So we will flip that out and sew the right sides together, matching our little notch here, so we keep everything straight.
Yeah, and you might want to mention about opening the zipper up after a while too, so you don't.
True.
So you get into it.
Because after you've stitched this whole perimeter with the bottom, how are you going to get to the zipper pull to turn it right side out? So he's right. You have to open the zipper. I'm not going to do it right now, but I'll do it when I'm sewing. Do it before you complete the stitching all the way around, because I'm going to keep this just the way it is so I don't
Yep, so you can
sew the wrong side to the right, the wrong side to the wrong side. There we go.
Okay.
Going upstairs to sew this.
So are you finished?
Almost. I have stitched the front on and the back to the sides. And here is where Guard suggested you leave the zipper open a little bit. That way you can reach your hand in there and unzip it all the way. And turn it right side out. And slide the cushion on. Gotta find the corner where the lagoon is at. Darn lagoon table. You always gotta be thinking about it. Where is the lagoon corner at? There it is. Let's see what I mentioned about the zipper. It's a little snug. But since this microfiber is a little bit stretchy, it makes it easier to get it on. There we go. I think it turned out wonderful. There might be a little pucker here or there, but it's going to keep my upholstery protected. My ultra leather will be safe inside of these covers, and Spike can get up on it and do what he feels like doing. If his feet are a little dirty, it doesn't matter. If he's got scratchy toenails, it doesn't matter, because this will protect the ultra leather.
Yeah, they look great.
Yeah, so hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I hope y'all will do me a favor and do yourself a favor by watching another video. I'm going to add a link in the comments to a video where another sewer is explaining how to make a slipcover for a cushion, and she does a really great job explaining how to do the corners, how to pivot at the corners. So after watching mine, go ahead and watch her video, and then I think everybody will be ready to make their own slipcover for their RV. So good luck and good skill in making your own covers, and thank you for watching.